Well, cough now.
Still have my residual cold bit.
Oh,
Good.
no. You
Good.
get the
Everyone-
con flu?
No, I think I got it
The
after.
confluence. The confluence. Hello, everyone.
Oh, dear.
That little bonus opening was just for you, only for you. On this momentous podcast here, we haven't been podcasting for a couple of weeks. I'm Mike McCafferty.
Hello, I'm Kim Miller.
And I'm Jason McCarris.
What? Jason?
I'm here. And I'm inebriated.
Finally. Are you? Excellent.
I've had like 3 glasses of wine, which is well past my limit.
Not bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your voice is not yet turned. You have not become,
We'll see. The night is
haven't
still...
become Teen Wolf yet.
Yeah. Closer we get to midnight.
Star Trek sucks. Blah, blah, blah.
This is boring.
So boring.
Ah.
So boring.
All right, well, we have a full boat here tonight. We have an all hands on deck because we have momentous news, amazing news, spectacular news. What we've been waiting for has finally happened. Kim, tell us what the momentous news is. Break
Jesus.
it.
Patrick Stewart.
Jesus is coming
baby.
back.
You talked
Jesus
over it.
Patrick Stewart. I don't.
Didn't we? We kind of knew this was going to happen, didn't we?
No, well, we had some
A lot of
inklings
rumors,
about it.
yeah.
There were a lot of rumors, but it was always kind of this weird conjecture of like, really, is he going to come back? Is he going to come back? But then this weekend, during the Star Trek convention, which I was going to go to, but Kim blew it.
It's all the doctor's
I
fault.
forced Mike's son to appear in a musical that Mike was forced to attend.
This is true. I had to see Aladdin, but I was going to go earlier, and Kim couldn't make it. And then, to be honest, I had to write my Talking Tom animated feature script. I had to turn that in.
Oh.
I know.
Which
I've
draft
actually-
is this that's been turned in?
This is actually the first draft after like 9 months. I
Oh,
finally
okay.
turned in the first draft, if you can believe that.
Wow.
So this is, if you want to know
Momentous.
why movies.
That is the momentous news of the evening.
Yeah, this is why I'm podcasting, because the past 5 days I've been doing nothing but writing about Talking Cat and going, what's the third act about? I don't know.
Sounds adorable.
It is going to be adorable. But even more adorable
But a
is
less important
when,
franchise than Talking Tom.
It may be. To be honest, I mean, Talking Tom is a huge franchise among like 6 to 15-year-olds. It's a huge demographic. 35 million, well, whatever. I mean, like the numbers, I can't even tell you the numbers. They're huge.
For that weird humanoid cat with no canine teeth.
That actually went in the script, Kim. Your knowledge of that, there's a joke about that. So.
Oh, excellent.
He had his teeth filed down.
As we all will. All right, so this weekend, Patrick Stewart, actually it's Alex Kurtzman is on stage for the Star Trek Vegas convention, and we've been there. I've been there a couple of times.
The royal we've been there.
The royal we. Now,
You're the only one who's been there.
yes.
Thanks to Ryan Nagata and George.
This is true. Yeah, Ryan and George have been my benefactors, bringing me up there the past couple of years.
You
And
did a
then-
pod from there, didn't you, early on?
I did. I did a podcast with George and with Ryan, and then a drunken one with George, which had to be heavily redacted
Oh, yes.
Powerful.
because he spoke about some of our friends in less than glowing terms.
You don't have to blow that now.
Well, they don't know which
good
famous
point.
friends he talked about.
He's talking about me.
Yes. But and I've been there several times, and I podcasted from there. And actually, we had some friends of the pod who were out there this week. And I'm sorry, who was
Yesenia.
Yesenia was out there, and my friend
Yesenia.
Kirk was out there as well. And I couldn't see either of them. That greatly upset me.
Kirk.
Yes,
Is this a
Kirk.
hallucination or an actual Kirk?
Captain Kirk, right? I mean, he was there,
Kirk
right?
was there.
Kirk was there, and Spock. No. So Alex Kurtzman, not Kirkman, Kurtzman, rolls up on stage and says, I have some big news. And then it says, I can't tell it. I had to have my friend tell it. And then the doors open, the kind of terrible doors, TNG doors open, and Patrick Stewart white knight that he is, white T-shirt that he wears, comes strolling out, 78 years old, and he saves Star Trek. Jason, how does he do it? Tell us.
He says Jean-Luc Picard is back.
Terrible.
Pretty.
I didn't know. I mean, I've seen that little part. I didn't know about the doors opening and the skies opening and the smoke everywhere. And he came out, and the heavens open.
When the walls fell, Shaka, with eyes open, with Picard unsailed.
What?
I don't know. That's fine.
His Picard's unfurled.
His Picard unfurled.
Well, it was very cool. I mean, even me as kind of a non-Trekkie person, it was very cool that my timeline on Twitter just completely changed over to people being excited about Jean-Luc Picard coming back, as opposed to yelling about Trump for, a day.
Yeah. I was in the middle of the Aladdin show, which, by the way, was not very good.
Fool. Just throwing everyone under the bus in this episode. George, your son.
It's not the kid's fault. The way that this Disney Junior version of Aladdin goes, they don't have the genie show up until 55 minutes into the play. Oh my God. I mean, who cares? It's like, oh, let's have another Jasmine song. No, we want to see the genie. Terrible. Oh.
I like Jasmine.
Do you want to see her for 55 minutes? Do you want to see her?
You're a biased stage dad. I want my son on from curtain
Thank
to curtain.
God Kim said it.
No.
My son should have nothing but solos, beginning to end. No other children are allowed.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. My son, he could come on at the very end of the show, but they've padded this show out. The genie shows up in the original in minute 30 or something. Here they've added songs and scenes and characters so that every kid can have a scene and a character and a song. And then the genie shows up.
Who wants to see that, really?
Ooh, next.
I don't. He was such a breath of fresh air. I don't fault any of these kids. I fault Disney, the company of Disney.
Menken.
No, Menken's fine. Ashman's fine. Tim Rice is fine. They're all off the hook. It's whomever decided to pad this out. So, my father, I
can burn in hell.
Yeah, Lea Salonga can go jump off a cliff.
Now they have these extra characters in the show. Anyways, this is all
they
superfluous. Do? Yes. They put in
I'll get into the extra characters with you later, but
we'll talk about that later.
Interested.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
Struck a chord with Jason.
Yeah.
What?
What?
3 glasses of wine.
My Aladdin?
3 glasses of wine. I want to hear about extra characters.
I know. But so we, I don't even know where we ended up there. So like
Jean-Luc
you, Jason,
Picard, finally back to Star Trek.
So like you, all of a sudden, like my friend Brian Weissel, friend of the pod, it says Patrick Stewart's coming back, and then I start getting all of these texts from you guys and from everyone I know, and Facebook's blowing up, and Twitter's blowing up, and everyone's hanging with all these messages, and I'm watching the show, so I can do nothing about this except for dream about it during the slow parts of this.
Had a big smile during the whole show.
Oh, I was so happy. And then my son after the show, he's like having lunch with his friends, and he calls me. I'm like, "Is everything okay, buddy?" He's like, almost in tears. Kieran, friend of the pod, says, "Dad, Jean-Luc Picard's coming back. Patrick Stewart's coming back." I'm like, "I know, buddy. I know. You need to watch your diction in the second act. I know. Good job."
Stage dad.
Stage dad. Hashtag stage dad.
I give him notes, and he does not take them. Listen to me. I don't I know we're burying the lead so deeply, but I have a master's degree in theater. My wife has a master's in fine arts in musical theater. The kid doesn't listen to us one bit.
The kid never had a chance.
He rolls his
Never good
eyes. No, we tell him he's great. We say, if you could just do this one little thing. He's like, fine, Dad. It's like, this is not a bad note.
He gets notes from the director and the notes from both parents.
Yes.
Well,
poor kid.
We're the real news here. We're the real story. Anyway,
but back to us.
He's going to be on the
More
street
about
someday.
Patrick Stewart.
On drugs on the street someday, going, "My dad gave me notes."
One of the notes was don't do drugs. I've told him that before, so
He rolled his eyes.
I'll show you. I'll do all the drugs.
I want wine. If I want wine, maybe I'll open my wine.
Yes.
Oh, we should all open the wine.
Oh, should I pour
I have
another
this-
one? It's gonna be a very
You have wine,
interesting
Kim?
evening.
I do.
You know,
have to
maybe
open it.
I have this really old bottle of wine that's
Oh,
been
boy, here
sitting
we go.
here in this garage. Maybe I'll open it up right now in celebration.
Nice.
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
I
Nice and hot.
Properly warmed
yes.
in celebration.
All right. But yes, I'll get one for our toast.
Oh, Wiley's gone. What a terrifying stage dad.
I hear that.
Oh, shoot.
All right, so I have this Sutter Home. This is very, very actually. First of all, we're not advertising that toothbrush anymore. They stopped doing that. But supposedly we're going to get we're getting underwear. I'm getting underwear too.
Fantastic. Wait, let me get my body.
Get
Continue.
your bottle, yeah. So.
Just take my
All right,
earbud.
so and if you want to see more stuff about this with this podcast, you can check out our Facebook page. Because we post all sorts of crazy, wonderful, fun stuff. We have a great crew of regulars who stop by, like Zach and Jim.
Zach Cote.
Zach Cote and Jim Dabbier.
Yeah, have we ever established the
We
pronunciation?
have, and I consistently forget. I apologize for that.
I don't know.
And our new friend of the pod, and I can't remember her name, starts with a Y. Kim remembered it, but she's great. Actually, we should have her and Kirk on to kind of do like a recap of Star Trek convention. But
Oh, because she was there, huh?
yeah, she was there.
Nice.
She was dressed as an Orion girl and also as an Andorian.
Stop talking.
Oh, sorry.
What do you mean stop talking? Why don't you start
I have
talking?
my earbuds in. All right. I forgot that I have this giant jug open.
Oh my God, Kim! Look at all that red wine.
Burgundy. I was making beef bourguignon the other day, and I
Oh, boy.
bought way too much.
Break out the boxes next.
It was for cooking, but since it's open,
Cooking for 1,000.
plug.
How to cook for man.
How to cook for 40 humans.
Yeah, 40 humans.
How to cook 4 humans. How to cook 40 humans. How to cook for 40 humans. Oh, hold on a second.
There's
Cockroach
more
has
space
jumped in.
dust on here.
Get out of here.
This is
All right.
long pauses in the podcast that Mike will never delete.
Exactly.
No, a cockroach climbed in.
Oh,
I
perfect.
had to kill him.
It's
Oh,
now
God.
not only the spider cave, but the roach motel.
God, I've been getting these horrible house centipedes. Do you ever get those?
No.
House.
Ugh.
Ugh, they're terrifying. They're
You mean
so
like a
gross.
silverfish?
No, they're these. Oh, I'll send you a picture. Back to
All right,
Patrick
first we should
Stewart.
toast. All right, let's.
Oh, excellent.
Let's. All right, so hold on a second. Let's put context to this for a second. So he comes out, and he announces that he's not wanting to play. God, there's a spider right there. Jesus. Hold on a second.
Focus.
Trying to, but he's descending.
Oh, Patrick Stewart is going to be so disappointed when he listens to this podcast and hears us
I know,
talking
I
about
know.
his big
Number one
reveal.
fan.
And it's all about spiders and cockroaches.
So much
I do.
editing.
I do have. We do have a fan. We had someone come over and clean our house the other day. I don't know who it was because my wife said, "Oh, this person they listen to the podcast." I'm like,
Really?
"What? That's great! Oh my god!"
God.
So to that person, we salute you. We give you a little toast.
cheers.
Right there.
Didn't bother to learn their name.
Well, I don't know if I want to, this person. I mean, I don't know who they. I don't know who they are. So,
Nice.
their name Patrick Stewart. All right, so Patrick Stewart comes out and he says, "Hey, I've always loved Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart. I've always loved Jean-Luc Picard. I've always loved Patrick Stewart, and I know you have too." That would be okay too. But he comes out and he says, I've always loved being Captain Jean-Luc Picard, but I felt like I had kind of put a button on it. And then I've been getting all this outpouring of love and affection from all the fans of all these years and all their stories. And of course, what I'm thinking is that CBS approached him with a boatload of money and said,
Oh, yeah.
"Please, for God's sakes, we'll give you so much money just to come back and do
Yeah.
anything you want on this."
Yeah.
But he said, after all the outpouring, I've decided to come back. Plus, I'm dead in the X-Men. McAvoy is now me.
Did he mention
so,
that?
Spoiler alert.
No, he didn't say that. No, he may come back. Who knows? I mean, Logan is supposedly in an alternate universe. Everything's in an alternate universe. But he announced he's coming back. So
Yay.
let us
Fun.
raise a glass to one of the best actors, a tiny wine bottle of boiling hot red wine.
Cheers.
And let us drink to
Cheers.
the greatest actor of Star Trek to return. Wow,
Turn the
that
vinegar?
is...
Some fine vinegar.
No, it hasn't actually, oddly enough. Which is even more terrifying, considering this is like such a low-rent wine that it resists like some sort of like exothermic reaction.
So what do you know of this?
Yeah, I was going to
series
ask
that
some
he's
questions
going to do?
about, I mean, speculation about what the new
Do
series is
you
going to
know
bring.
anything other than it will be a show about him? Is he the main character, or he will just appear in one of these upcoming series?
I don't think anything's been released about it. Kiernan.
No.
I have a source from Kiernan. He said. He told me today, which
The genie
of course,
said.
He said, "Leave me
Genie.
alone, Dad. I can do it."
he
Stop
he
giving me
distracted
notes.
He did upload this he created this delightful little tribute to Patrick Stewart today. He edited this little
Really?
footage of a Starfield and all of Patrick Stewart's quotes from the Drumhead and all these and from Generations. It's really, really cute. Maybe we'll put it up on the Facebook page. But he said, and I don't know, this is very, very spurious information, or perhaps apocryphal, but he said that it is that Jean-Luc Picard experienced something 20 years ago, which would put him close to the Nemesis time, that terrified him, and now he's been on the run or something.
What?
He's a fugitive.
That sounds horrible to me.
Yeah,
to be honest,
sounds
that's-
kind of suspicious.
Terrible.
I want
I think
Patrick
it's a
Stewart.
bit early for all that kind of speculation, too. I'm sure at this
Yeah.
point they've put deals in place. Who knows if they have any script? I mean, they have an idea, I'm sure, but
This, I mean, first of all, this was met with resounding approval from everyone, every fan in Star Trek. No one is upset about this.
Yeah.
People are
including
upset
me.
about- I know. Well,
Even
that's-
I
Casual
love
fan.
Patrick Stewart. I think he's great.
he's great, and it's one of those things where it's like, wow, look at how well the Roseanne reboot's doing, and now they're doing Murphy Brown, they're
Oh,
doing all these
brother.
reboots. I wonder. No, there can't be anything we can do with all these actors that are still alive. Hey, I got an idea. All these executives suddenly putting their heads together and say, why don't we get the greatest actor we've ever had?
I'm sure they're trying to consider the fact that they're alive in order to use them.
Well,
These actors who are
that is-
still alive, they're all 90, but they're still alive.
Well,
William
Patrick-
Shatner, bring him back.
He's like, what, 86? Now, Patrick Stewart is 78, and
Yeah.
that's a concern. I mean, this has to be a limited series of some degree.
Yeah.
And he's
Well,
not going
that
to be running
article-
around.
Well, I mean,
Deadline
limited.
mentioned series,
They'll
right?
probably do. I mean, what was the last Discovery season? 10 episodes or something like that, or they
It's
split
15,
it up.
actually.
15.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
became
that's because
15.
they did a special kind of split deal.
They added 2. They were
Yeah.
so happy with the result. They did say that they were looking at limited series. So there was an article that came out on Deadline Hollywood. Yeah, where they talked to some of the CBS executives, and they're they're very coy. They said, we want to do all sorts of Star Trek shows, and they said they want to do series, long-running series, and limited series. I would think this is a limited series. I would think maybe
Yeah.
like
Imagine he's not going to be locked
Yeah.
in for 7 years. 85.
I would think this is maybe along the lines of Anthony Hopkins in Westworld, where he's sort of in it, but not the main character of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, the way they're promoting it and that he's a part of it. I mean, I think the show really is centering around him. As far from what I'm getting, I mean, Westworld is
imagine
definitely
him,
not
like-
centered around Anthony Hopkins.
I can't imagine him being like out doing action things,
Really, he's in great
But-
shape. I mean, he's for his
I
age.
don't know.
He's
Well,
in
that's
really,
true,
really
but-
good shape.
He's in
I
great
would
shape.
be happy to see that.
I feel like
here's
he's in
my-
better shape than me, and he's got like what 40 years on me almost.
Yeah, he's in pretty good shape. Here's my rationale though for it is that having him as like, it's like the further adventures of Jean-Luc Picard is great. Like, let's say it's just him and then some periphery characters. Let's say he's roaming the galaxy in an anthology style thing, kind of like going, quantum leaping all over the place. That's great, but it doesn't serve the franchise overall. If he is basically knighting other characters and saying like, you're my new number one, or I'm gonna, like this small ragtag group I have will become the next, foundation of the Federation, then he is planting seeds which will yield delicious fruit.
I'm skeptical about that because it sounds sort of like what they want to do with Indiana Jones, where they want to bring in other characters and have start a whole new franchise, the Indiana Jones franchise without Indiana Jones, which doesn't really make any sense.
What they're doing?
That was the plan. I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but.
Yeah, but Indiana Jones is a singular character. His
Right.
name is basically on the movies. Like, let's say if Jean-Luc Picard's on a ship and he has a crew, whether it's people we know or people we don't, like, whenever he decides to move on, you have these younger characters who now have that lineage of Jean-Luc Picard, who also has that lineage of Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock. So suddenly you have this long line that stretches 50-plus years of, like, this character was with this character, was with this character, with this character. Discovery right now is totally unhinged from anything.
No, that's not true. They have who's the captain who was in the finale. They're connected to the old trilogy, the old
Sorry,
series,
Carl.
the original series.
Well, but I guess I'm also speaking from a, like, not only the characters but also the actors too. So you have Patrick Stewart, who was with Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner. You have this historical precedent where the character and the actor was both with the original actors. Mm-hmm. So as opposed to like, this is Sarek, this is the third Sarek, but it's a Sarek. It's like, well, okay. Where's the fourth, fifth, and 10th Sarek? Who cares? But here's a guy who was in the second series, third if you count the animated, and he established this series and was the lead of it and so powerful. And to have him kind of usher in a new generation, that would be amazing. So, we'll see.
I'll go along with that.
I am shocked by your optimism, and I get the sense that when this show comes out and there's new people on it, you will hate them all.
No, I won't. No, I will. Well, see, I might.
They don't
love
screw him
Jean-Luc
up?
Picard, but everybody else will be crap.
But if Jean-Luc Picard, if Patrick Stewart, first of all, Patrick Stewart, if you look at the Next Generation cast, from when they started as actors to where they finished,
Right.
much better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because Patrick Stewart, who is a Royal Shakespeare Company actor, years and years of experience before that, made them all better.
Yeah.
And my feeling is, osmotically, he will make these actors better. I'm hoping. Plus, now that I think about it, now we can have a crossover. He can show up on Discovery. Time travel, right?
Why not? Bring back Q. I bet they'll have Q.
Someone was saying that. Someone was saying that Q might come back.
Really, on Discovery, huh?
No, on Patrick Stewart's show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they were such a formidable pair. So now, Jason, I kind of cajole Jason to stay awake and drink more wine.
Yes.
Because Jason, as a Star Wars aficionado, has already experienced this where they brought back these main characters to the franchise with Luke and Leia and Han.
Okay.
And what is your...
I was wondering where you were going with this, because you mentioned in a text message that there was a correlation between Jean-Luc Picard and Han and Leia specifically, and I was like, oh, there's some sort of romantic interest about Jean-Luc Picard that I don't know.
No, it was just a ruse to keep you on so I could get you, the podcast, basically. We haven't had you on. We missed you. We wanted you on to the podcast.
Never coming on again.
No. But I mean, like, here with Star Wars, at least, we have, like, we got old Han, we have old Luke,
Right.
we have old Leia, to varying degrees of success, and like, what, I mean, are you thrilled when they're on? Are you like, they kind of blew it? I mean, what's...
No, I'd say probably 80 to 90% thrilled most of the time. I especially, I have no complaints about Harrison Ford and the way they used Han in Force Awakens. I thought that was great. Leia, when we get into The Last Jedi, there's moments, especially, I don't want to get too deep into Star Wars. This is a Star Trek podcast. But, the whole use of the Force, I was really happy to see a use of the Force with Leia. It looked really cheesy and it was goofy. So there's a
She's
little bit
floating
of kind
through
of
space. Is that what you're
yeah, the Mary Poppins moment. But there's goofy things. Maybe she wasn't utilized to the best of their abilities in The Last Jedi. But super happy that the original characters were in this new series. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And I
She's
think
supposed to be in the next
I would
film?
expect
Or-
she is. Yes, they're using unused footage from Force Awakens and a little bit, tiny bit from Last Jedi, apparently.
Oh, okay. It's not like she's going to be entirely CG.
No, there's no CG apparently from what they've
Oh,
said
that's
because they really didn't want to make a CG character. I suspect there was probably going to be a little bit of CG here and there just to kind
There'll
of
be some CG,
make it work. They have to. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm really curious about that. Everything they've announced so far seems so weird. I'm eager to see it.
All right, we talked about Aladdin. We talked about Star Wars. We barely talked about Star Trek.
Aladdin.
The Aladdin Expanded Universe.
Yes, it's the ACU. The
Is your dad going to be a podcast?
Yes, is your dad going to be on the podcast?
boy, we could. I mean, you guys are coming
He's
up on
here.
Saturday, right? Is it, Kim? Are you confirmed for Saturday?
Yes. Yes.
Matt's
All right.
confirmed for Saturday as well. Oh, wait a minute.
No, he's not. Fool. Stumpy.
If anyone needs to take a mime class in San Diego, I can tell you exactly where to go. No,
Playwriting.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have like the podcast annual podcast with 3 generations of McCaffertys. We'll have Kiernan and my dad.
Ooh, yeah, that would be great.
So I told Jason and Kim this, but we're watching Aladdin yesterday. My dad flew out early to watch Aladdin, and the curtain call comes, and of course every child gets a curtain call, no matter what size, because play enjoyed by all.
Angry stage dad in front.
It's fine. Well, no, but here's the thing. When the bad guys come out, there's like 2 guards. My dad
Jafar.
starts booing them. My dad starts going, boo, boo, because like he's like treated like a melodrama, like it's like we appreciate your bad guyness by booing you. Except this is children's theater, and everyone in the house immediately turns and looks at my dad. As
Best was your assessment of the kids saying to Kiernan, "Why is that guy booing us?"
So they, like everyone turns to him. Afterwards, all the kids are like, "Why was that guy booing us?" They're all like, in close to tears. And Kiernan says, "Oh, that's my grandfather. He's from Michigan,"
Which explains all.
Yes, as an explanation. So I stopped him from booing Jafar. He didn't get that far. He didn't get that
Okay.
Jafar, but
Didn't get that Jafar.
didn't get that Jafar. But it definitely was one of those uncomfortable moments. And then later on, he told my son Caden about a time a friend blew up pigeons. So there is.
A friend of his blew up pigeons.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Ew.
Yes. Yeah. Caden has a weird. My dad. It doesn't matter. None of this stuff matters. All that matters is Patrick Stewart is back in Star Trek. So good. I'm so happy about that.
Patrick Stewart never blew up pigeons, as far as we know.
As far as we know, no. Yeah. He wasn't really close friends with that guy. It's fine. He's just the guy who invited him over. He had a
Talk
weird
about this on
brother.
Saturday.
I know. On Saturday, we'll definitely get the story
We'll
out
save
of
the story
Mike's
for
dad,
Saturday.
Art.
My dad might be unstoppable. I'm not quite sure.
Real interesting.
He might
See
boo
where
Kim
it
at dinner.
all comes from.
Boo, Kim.
Brussels sprouts. Boo.
Hey, I would do that too.
All right,
Hate
well
Brussels sprouts.
Oh God, Brussels sprouts are great. Are you kidding?
That's a weird taste thing. It's your onions. I can't stand the Brussels sprouts.
Oh wow.
Roasted.
Yeah, you got to roast them and put some butter on them. Here's the thing. Do you know that Brussels sprouts in the past 20 years have actually gotten sweeter because they've been culling and picking sweeter varieties and breeding those?
What the hell happened to this podcast?
Well, if I had a sound effect for the more you know, NBC, da, 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 I think I would just play it right there.
I can just imagine people so excited to hear our opinion on Patrick Stewart returning to form after 15 years, and we're talking about Brussels
sprouts, and they're sweeter.
Dead birds, and
Aladdin.
Edits.
No, there's no editing. There's no editing in this. All right, so let's talk about a little bit more about this. So Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard returns after 15 years. Now they did in this Deadline Hollywood article. They did interview these guys, and they said a couple of interesting things. Kim, I don't know if you want to recap any of that or.
Something about Harry Mudd might be in one of these short treks.
Oh. Well, we knew that. We knew Harry Mudd was going to be in it. They were going to do a crew member we've never met before, and then Saru's home planet. Those are the three we know of.
Crew member.
But the thing I saw is that whoever was on this Deadline thing was really grilling them and saying, will there be a Harry Mudd spinoff? And they were like, no. They said, will there be a Discovery spinoff? In particular, Michelle Yeoh character spinoff, which I don't know where the hell that came from. I mean,
well, they didn't really say no to Harry Mudd. They said he definitely falls in that category of it could be interesting to build around this character, but I will say it hasn't progressed any further than that. So semi-no.
It feels like a mostly no. It feels like, sure, we've talked about that. We haven't talked about that. Anything's possible. Nothing's possible. It's all set.
We're talking about these small episodes coming out this year, right? It's already August.
Yeah.
So they must be well along in production, I would imagine.
I mean, they're only 15 minutes long. They have to be. So I imagine they'll come out in November. They'll try to upstage Orville a little bit. They also said that there is no plans currently to reboot any of the previous series, which was interesting that they absolutely rule that out. They said, well, what about William Shatner? And they said, well, never say never, ha ha ha.
Yes, I saw that too, yeah.
If he showed up and said, I want to do Star Trek, they'd be like, yes. If he said, I want you to cancel all the other shows, I want to do Star Trek, they'd be like, yep, you got it. Maybe not Patrick Stewart. Maybe they go.
I don't know. You think he would still work today as Kirk? Can you think of a way to work him in his current goofiness? Do you think he could capture that old magic?
Would you want to see Kim? Would you want to see Captain Kirk?
Of course, I'd watch any crazy crap he'd do. But
yes,
he would succeed. He'd come out and be Priceline pitchman.
I mean, we would
Talk
have
about
to.
Horses.
Yeah. Did you see that? Did you see that horse? It was cantering. It was cantering. Oh Jesus! I mean, maybe it's maybe Captain Kirk rides horses all over the place.
He is an equestrian.
Oh God, yes. That's in Generations. Yeah, in the Nexus, that's one of the things that he insisted on having horses in it. He's riding horses because he loves horses, as we all recall. Captain Kirk loves horses. Captain Kirk does not love horses. Now Christopher Pike, he loved horses.
What?
Oh,
really?
In the pilot, yeah, in the Cage Menagerie, the Telosians put him back on Earth, and it was his horse. Remember that? And he's like, look, it's his horse, and he's brushing it.
Maybe we'll see some of that in Discovery.
Oh, very good point. Yeah, with this Anson Mount
Pike, right? Yeah.
Yes, a new Pike. So there's what was it, Kim? What was the quote they had, or maybe it was Jason? What was the quote? Something they want to have something Star Trek on all the time.
Yes, they did say that.
Like you wrote it.
Something Star Trek all the time.
My goal is that there should be a Star Trek something on all the time on All Access, said the CBS TV Studios president, David Stauff.
So if you want to look at what one of the big problems is that the president of CBS says they want to have a Star Trek something on. If you're not specific about it, then there's going to be problems. But what do I know?
Well, these are the guys who are in charge of All Access, not CBS itself.
Yeah. All Access is working.
Les
People are
Moonves.
subscribing. It's growing.
Yeah.
Is that what they said? I mean, it's who knows? Who knows at what rate? They are doing the new Twilight Zone series.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize they're doing another, the Good Wife spinoff is on CBS All Access as well.
Yeah, that's been on for a while.
Yeah.
The Twilight Zone is actually going to be executive produced by a guy who directed The Invisible Man, which is surprising. I was like, oh, wow, Greg Utanes.
Does it say that Discovery is eventually going to go to Netflix?
No,
well,
Discovery...
it is in Europe, right? Or
yeah.
In other countries, it actually airs on Netflix as opposed to CBS All Access because it's not available in other countries yet.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Many fools who have not seen Discovery because they're like, I want to pay.
Yeah, it is kind of it is this big restrictor plate on watching this. Is that maybe 20% of all Star Trek fans are getting CBS All Access, so Discovery kind of lives in this pocket of obscurity.
We will soon discover how deeply we want to see the next season of Discovery now that Feral Audio is no longer paying for our accounts.
Yes, Feral Audio was paying for our CBS All Access, and now they're not. So
because we're all too cheap to spend $9 a month.
Yes.
How much is that?
What was it, like $10 or $6? And the $6 came with commercials. Actually, Feral Audio was cheap because they had us watch those commercials instead of plugging on an extra $4. We'll see. We'll see what Starburns Audio has in store.
We may actually have to split this 3 ways.
We may have to split it 3 ways. We may have to Harry Mudd it. Who knows?
Deny Matt Thompson access.
He gets nothing. He gets nothing.
He will contribute $3 and then fight us on that. Yes. Oh, friends, $3. My daughter. I have to raise my daughter.
Oh gosh! All right, so now we've really run a skew of the Star Trek show. So maybe we'll close this one off. This was our kind of rapid reaction, our rapid meandering reaction,
a rapid reaction 5 days later
before Aladdin.
No, this is true. Yeah, this is. I kept on wanting to do it, and I turned in that talking cat script last night at 1:30 in the morning. It's not very good, but it's done. Never gonna work again. It's fine. But I still have this. I still have you, gentle podcast listener. Thank you for listening to this.
Can't believe your cleaning person listens to the podcast. That's great news.
Yes.
You've really reached a particular demographic there.
Remember just a few years ago when there was no Star Trek happening?
Yes. Oh, I am. This makes me very, very grateful. There was
Star Trek happening.
After the last movie,
Into Darkness.
I've sort of turned on Beyond. I enjoy Beyond now, Star Trek Beyond. This is old people TV. I mean, this is 25 years later. We're bringing back a guy, and we're putting him back on camera.
Well, you say that, and yet your teenage son is in tears because he's so excited that it's coming back.
Well, he's a McCafferty.
This is true.
He's in the orbit of madness.
He watches it more than I do. It's funny, whenever we have like a little fight, he'll go into his room and I hear Star Trek playing. I'm like, oh, he's just doing that on purpose.
Can't stay mad at him.
But I mean, if they have Discovery and they have, I don't care if they even had Scott Bakula on and said, hey, this is going to be Enterprise Part 2. I would be okay to that.
No.
So boring.
I joined Jason on that. Boring.
No. You have to watch later seasons. Later seasons are okay.
That's true.
All right. I will.
Through a Mirror Darkly. Watch that.
The curation. Kiernan is curating Next Generation for me. So.
Curation.
Yes.
Have you been watching any?
I watched one the other week, and I'm forgetting which one.
Did you watch? Which one was it? You watched the Darmok and Jalad one.
Darmok and Jalad.
Right.
Yeah.
You had mixed reaction on that.
Yeah, it wasn't 100% on Darmok.
Oh.
It's foolishness.
Much beloved episode. Boring.
So boring.
See, we should talk about that episode. I tried to get Mike to do that. He fought me.
What, the Darmok one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about it. I mean, if you want to talk about it.
We
can have a mini review right now.
Classic episode in a long time.
Kind of like Alien Nation. On a planet together, making fire.
No, you're talking about Enemy Mine.
I'm sorry, you're right. Enemy Mine.
Yeah.
Not
Alienation.
Yeah. Alienation.
James Caan.
Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy Patinkin, yeah. Somewhere over the rainbow.
Yeah, exactly. That was a great movie, though. I loved Alienation.
Alienation is good. It is a very good movie.
I wouldn't. Well, I'm gonna temper my alcohol is informing my reviews. Maybe not a great movie. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
And you know, it's an even better movie.
Yeah,
it is, and a better sci-fi movie of that era.
Do not say
RoboCop.
Kim, they're showing. We got to see that 35 millimeter screening on Friday.
Yes. I will happily drive 3 hours in 95-degree heat to see RoboCop.
You must.
I will pay your ticket. I will pay your fare to go see
the
this
rail.
movie.
Michael paid the rail fare.
My rail fare.
Take the rail.
You'll come up. You'll stay with Jason overnight.
Yes. I'll clear it.
Things.
Chrissy will clear it.
Stay up here. Watch RoboCop. Be swayed by the power of Peter Weller.
I like Peter Weller. I like the RoboCop in RoboCop, but everything else is so stupid.
Oh my God! Kurtwood Smith, who's in Voyager.
What
the hell?
Making you like it.
All right. Well, I don't.
We'll never convince her.
I just want to talk about.
I berate thee.
I just want to talk about RoboCop.
You know, Vulcan nerve pitch me.
I hate you, and I berate you. Oh God! All right, so you know, when you listen to this podcast, you're not going to get anything you want. You're not going to get deep, insightful news about Patrick Stewart.
On double speed.
Yes, or half speed, just to really savor it.
To hear Brussels sprouts have gotten
much sweeter than they used to be. It's like Donovan doing a podcast. You know about Brussels sprouts.
Is that John Wayne?
It's Donovan.
Oh gosh,
we're getting a little too deep. Nobody in our audience knows who Donovan
Enemy
is.
of the pod.
Enemy of the pod. Well, I'm starting to sweat here because it's 1,000 degrees.
We have to turn off the
still
air conditioning
outside.
for the podcast purposes.
Yeah. So, and open the door, which let all the bugs crawl in.
Spiders and roaches and bears. Oh my.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you so much for sticking with us as we're kind of going bi-monthly. Our Starburns audio producer said, "So, hey, Mike, are you doing this weekly or bi-weekly or occasionally?" It's like,
we're going to start charging a subscription fee.
I know, yeah. We're going to charge you $6.95 a month.
Listen to us talk about Brussels sprouts.
Oh, God. Well, somebody suggests we do a Patreon someday. Maybe they like pay some bills for us.
Oh, I can only imagine what the Patreon subscribers would get.
Well, it's kind of like this
all access.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, it's
you
like
in traffic. You'll be like video chatting with them in traffic.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's fine. It's just it's basically a Kickstarter thing, but people pay on like a monthly basis, like $3 to $5 to $10 a month, and like you get like special benefits, like we'll put together a special video just for you guys, and you know it's
celebrity thing that I said you guys.
No, that's something else. Although our friend Mike Manischewitz did get TJ Lavin from the challenge to do a video through that same app that you told me about.
Oh,
it's fantastic.
All right. So we're going to cut it off here. When we get into the challenge, we've got to cut it off.
I just want to talk about the challenge.
Yeah. So this was a great week. Great news came out of this week. The king has returned, and through him he shall right all that is wrong within the kingdom. That is my feeling.
No pressure.
No.
If you went to the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, send us your pictures. If you cosplay, I want to see more pictures. Yesenia sent us a great one.
Yesenia, that's who it is. I was trying to remember her name while you were like out getting wine, and Yesenia. So we were saying that we should have them over. You know,
I think Mike said, "Why somebody?"
I said it here. Jeez.
I know. That's why I have you on the show, to remember these things.
She sent us a great picture, or put it on the Facebook page. A great Orion Slave Girl picture.
Facebook, yeah. Orion Slave Girl and the Andorian. Remember the Andorian cheerleader? That was great. Maybe this Saturday we'll have her on the pod as well. We'll have this mega podcast. We'll have my dad, my son, you two, Yesenia.
Recipe for disaster.
That would be pretty
great. Sounds like a Next Generation episode. Arsenal of Freedom, Recipe for Disaster. But I mean, can you imagine that? Like, first of all, if Yesenia, if you show up like as an Orion girl or as an Orion, I will dress up in my James T. Rex outfit, and we'll go out someplace in public and we'll podcast the shit out of this. It'll be so damn good.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Mike's James T. Rex outfit, there's a picture on the Facebook page of him with his son Kiernan on the World Series trophy from Discovery, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Lazy Susan throne.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So thank you so much for listening. Please stick with us. We promise this will get better. I'm Mike McCafferty.
I'm Kim Miller.
And I'm Jason McCarris.
Oh.
And I want to make it so. And I also just want to talk about
Star Trek.
Engage.